Thank you for listening to Life Improvement Radio. You are listening to a rebroadcast of a previously recorded show.
We're getting ready to have a lot of fun from 9 to 2 for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, the Miami Book Fair. And if you are in the Miami area, you have to check out the book fair. It's just fantastic in Florida, even in other places in Florida. Make the drive tomorrow for the second day, the last day of the book fair. Amazing. And I first want to welcome the program, and he's going to be, I guess, going back and forth with me, doing the great producing over in St. Pete, Florida. Eric, how are you? Eric Remmel. Eric, it's so great to do this for another year with you.
I know, it's great. It's been a fun journey. What is this, our fourth year now?
Yeah, it's our fourth year. First year we broadcasted at the Miami Book Fair, and this is the third year you and I are journeying in our studios. Mine in the Pittsburgh studio, and you are located in the St. Pete area. So I'm so excited to welcome our first author Aaron Thier. Aaron, thanks for calling, and I'm sure you're enjoying so far the book fair, aren't you?
Oh yeah, it's much more lavish than I anticipated.
Is this your first time at the book fair? Yes. It's just an amazing atmosphere, isn't it, Aaron?
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's something when you get to go there in different situations, and you've been to many other book fairs. What do you think makes Miami different?
You know, my wife and I have just moved here, and we love Miami. I guess there's something about Miami that I think the rest of the United States mysteriously lacks, which I think is maybe this connection to the rest of the world, the tropical world in particular. And you kind of feel these currents, these geopolitical currents, and you feel like you're in an exciting place. You know, it feels like an international city in a way that maybe other international cities don't always. It lacks maybe the busyness of New York or something.
So, what do you so far have you thought is the most interesting part so far of the book fair since you arrived? Connecting with the authors, your fans. What would you say?
I don't know. You know, we've spent some time in the city, and we've gotten to know. You know, it's a very small literary community. I think what's exciting about the book fair is you just feel this tremendous energy, this growth of culture, literary culture in Miami that's happening elsewhere at other times of the year too, like with the O Miami Poetry Festival. It's just an exciting time to be in Miami. I think you feel this energy.
Eric, don't you see this experiencing talking to these authors all the time, don't you, Eric?
Oh, definitely. You know, and Miami is such a great experience because you have so many people over the week street festival going on down there, and it's a lot of fun for the readers and all the people, you know, that are getting a chance to experience their authors first time or come back multiple times. But I'm sure it's a great experience for the authors too to get up to speak and be able to sign books and network with other authors and kind of grow their fan base as well.
Absolutely. So, Aaron, tell us a little bit about your background for our listeners out there. One thing that we like to do on the Toll Education Network is we like to understand the whole author before we talk about the book, especially on a live experience like today, because we will be thrown some curveballs, Aaron, where people will show up at different times, and we have to kind of impromptu. But tell us a little bit about your background and how you became an author and stuff.
I come from Western Massachusetts, a little town called Williamstown. I don't know. I think it's not a particularly exciting story. I was interested in style and language most of all, and you know, I suppose when I was a teenager, it occurred to me that books didn't just appear. You know, someone wrote them, and that was very exciting to me. And so, I think really from that point, I just began thinking of myself as a writer, and it's only recently that I've actually become a writer. But you know, kind of standard journey, I think.
That standard journey in a way. So growing up, you probably didn't think, Aaron, you'd be a writer, did you? Growing up, like you have a novel and stuff. Did you think that was going to happen?
You know,
as a kid and stuff. Yeah.
Certainly not as a kid. No. But later it became, you know, it became the thing that I wanted to do. I can't remember ever wanting to do anything else. And I don't know that I really imagined the kind of material reality of holding the book in my hand, but certainly I imagined my adult life as, you know, a life that was full of reading and writing.
Eric, and that's the amazing, interesting thing about when we talk to all these authors is how their journey to become an author, right, Eric?
I know it's so unique and varied across all the different folks we talk to, and it's amazing because a lot of the authors we speak with didn't ever envision themselves being an author. It's just something they kind of led them into.
Absolutely. So let's talk about your book, The Ghost Apple. How did you come up with the idea to write this book?
Well, so the book is very generally it's about a small college that goes bankrupt and sells itself to a snack food company. That's something like Pepsi or Coca-Cola or something. So it's about this kind of takeover of this college by a corporation, and in particular, it's about the corporation has interests in the Caribbean, and study abroad students come to be enslaved on sugar plantations. And I say it like this, it doesn't sound like a comic novel, but it is a comic novel, which is, kind of hard to get across. But I wrote it when we were graduate students in Florida, and the reason I came to write a book like that is because I started to think for the very first time about the way that the societies of, the so-called global north, the mid-latitudes, the United States, Europe, the way these societies are connected to the tropics in a very intimate kind of daily way. Like, for example, I don't know how many people in the United States go even a single day without, coffee, chocolate, vanilla, tea, cinnamon. Peppercorns, black peppercorns are... they literally give them away for free at McDonald's, and this is the thing for which wars were fought 500 years ago. And I never thought about that. And then I came to Florida, which is where the United States dips down into the tropics, and you can grow some of these things. And I think for the first time I started to think about where all this stuff comes from, and this kind of miracle that sugar should be an article of daily consumption in places that are thousands and thousands of miles from the nearest cane fields. So this novel is just about that, very generally, about this feeling of connection, which was a great surprise and very exciting to me when we came to Florida.
Aaron, how long's the book been out, and what's the response been from the readers?
The book's been out since March. I don't know that it seems immediately like a terribly accessible book. It's written in as a sequence of fake documents, like the minutes of meetings and travel brochures and advertisements and things like that. I worry maybe it's a little intimidating when you see it. It looks very strange on the page. But people who have read it say that it's funny, it's very accessible, and so it's this kind of but it does look like a new thing, I think.
Yeah, that's really interesting in so many ways when you think about the response of your readers and different things in this process. Did you ever think that you would again be honored to be invited to the Miami Book Fair, especially on your first novel, to have that opportunity to be involved in this process?
No, of course not. I mean, I really had no sense of the life of a professional writer when I was writing, which I think is probably good because you could become pretty apprehensive thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's been so nice since the book came out to kind of feel myself part of this very large community, a very diverse community, and participate in events like this. It's very exciting.
It definitely is an exciting thing. What will you be doing at the Miami Book Fair? Are you going to be participating in the panel, Aaron?
I'll be reading from my book in about 2 hours.
Aaron, do you have any future novels planned or any other creative works in the process?
I've actually just finished my second novel, and I'm getting ready to submit the final manuscript, and it'll probably come out in the spring of 2016, I think.
And what's that one called?
That one's called Mr. Eternity.
Interesting. Same kind of premise, continuing on the same basis, or a completely different storyline?
A completely different storyline. It's about a sailor, kind of an immortal sailor who wanders around the Americas for 1,000 years, from about 1550 to the year 2500, ostensibly looking for a woman he believes that he's in love with, but in fact she doesn't really exist. And mostly he just, he gets involved with various people at various times. He mostly causes trouble and spreads misinformation.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Well, always interesting things at the Miami Book Fair for sure. Aaron, where's the best place we can purchase your book and learn more about you? Where can we go?
Well, I suppose Amazon sells every book in the world. But, of course, your local independent bookseller is the nicest place.
Yeah, definitely. And you hope that survival continues, right, Aaron? That,
absolutely,
that they can...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's been really great to be in Miami and get to know the people associated with Books and Books. Mitchell Kaplan is just kind of a marvel.
Yeah, Mitchell does such a tremendous job at this book fair, and I've talked to a lot of his people that have been around with him forever, and it's just fantastic, and you get to promote the book fair in so many ways. Aaron, do you have a website as well for people to find info on you?
I do. It's just my name, Aaron-Thier, at, aaron-thier.com.
Well, awesome. Best of luck, and I hope to have you back on Author's Corner when your next book comes out, so thanks again for calling, Aaron.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to Life Improvement Radio. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own and shall not be construed in any way as advice from Life Improvement Radio. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our website. Personal perspectives expressed by the producers, writers, or editors will always be presented as such. Any rebroadcast or retransmission without the expressed written consent of Life Improvement Radio is strictly prohibited. Thanks for listening.